Hey, what is going on, Pablo?
It's not a mucho, man. That sound at the end, I was like, oh, it sounds like you're like jabbing a woolly mammoth. It's like, oh.
I was trying to find something because of the open mouth thing, and I used actually this one.
Yeah.
And then I like slow-moed it and added a whole bunch of different effects to it. But yeah, and like static noise and radio, just something to like dirty it up and make it seem intentional.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Talk Your Face Off.
Yeah. Has the chat been going and I didn't know about it? Was it
Yeah,
already
they've
live?
been in here.
I didn't even
we were
know.
a little late by about 3 minutes. We were talking Instagram stuff backstage, and
yes,
we lost track of time.
Hey, what's up? Javier's in the house. Operation 11 Charlie. What's going on,
Hey,
people?
the USTE crew is finally, many of them are getting home.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
That looks like an awesome event. You know, so I went to we have a club out here called CCxRC. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but I went to a club meeting because we've been going there for a couple years now. And basically what they do is they host, it's like one event every weekend. So say weekend one is Sorka, like a Sorka comp. Weekend two is like actual crawler, like the big wagon wheel crawlers. And then say week three is U4RC. And the Sorka and scale trail, like switch off and on every month. But I went to one of the club meets because I'm like, we're here. I got to pay my dues, kind of a thing, and see how it can help. And I'm like, dang, man, that's like the level. It's like two guys that are putting on most of the show, and I'm like, that's crazy. Every weekend, and and of course everyone's like, we want more, and it's like,
yeah,
time to put up or shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
we're gonna increase the costs by a lot to.
Well, that's okay. So that's the crazy thing. This is all 100% free, and it comes out of the guy's pocket, and I'm like, dude, you gotta like do the club dues again, because we used to do club dues, which were like $20 a year, I think. And but he didn't want to get involved, and they don't want to get involved because then it turns into a business, and you have to do taxes, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, ooh, we gotta, yeah, I know, right? Boo. So we got to figure out how to do that. But it's also the kind of thing where we want to this is going to be one that you're going to like to follow. We're doing a tough truck competition like Four Wheeler did. And so it's like, the tank trap, the sled pull, the rock garden, all that kind of stuff. And only 10 cars get voted in by the club to compete. And it's unlimited. Like you can bring whatever it's like run what you brung.
Yep.
I'm super pumped about that. So
that's awesome. That's why I bought my sled, and I haven't used it yet, because I really would love to do the tough truck stuff, mainly for crawlers and not for anything that's meant to pull a sled. It's like,
right.
I want to burn up motors.
There you go. I got your smoking motors in here.
Yeah,
perfect.
So I'll get that working here. They've been doing some of that stuff up at our local shop. I just haven't been to it yet. But
that's cool.
Yeah, a bunch of people joining in here. Cody B says, "What's up, Tony? Ready to see these minis go fast-ish."
Ish.
Hello from V&B Speed, California.
Hey, it's my side of the coast.
TJ Miller says, "Make it a church and take donations."
Yes, that
would
be
slowly awesome. Rollers church.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll be talking about the builds and moving forward. I know you've been working on some designs for what you want yours to look like. I've been hoarding stuff already for mine because I don't have the same build. I have been working on my 3D printer to try and get it working. So if I can get some stuff going, I can do some prints.
I submitted that question to my homies over at VO 3D Print, and to ask about that. Maybe people know that in the chat about what the shelf life is for PLA exposed to air
and sunlight, UV. That's the other problem. It's sitting right in front of this window.
Oh yeah, that'll cook
So,
it.
and on not being used. So, and I think because of it being cold and probably damp in here,
Hmm.
then you get moisture introduced. And
Yeah,
I think that I'm just going to throw that whole roll out and start over and be more mindful with the next roll.
yeah.
It's so easy to load it now. I used to just leave it on because changing it was such a pain with like the A-net way back in the day to try and get it to find the right hole. Like
Oh,
you had to manually feed it all the way through the tip, and it was tough. That
take it
came out
easy.
weird.
Take it easy. Take it
Oh
easy.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and see for me, like I was telling you, I 3D print so much that it's like I just put a
You
spool
go
on it and
through it.
kill it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just kill the spool. So, and like right now, I just 3D printed a body that I'm working on. This one, it's going to be a quad cab. This is for my monster truck. So this one comes apart, goes together. I got to clean it all up.
Now is that
And
so that it won't break if you hit, you're hoping, or
no, that's
okay.
just so I can register it. The model came with those tabs on it.
Okay.
So, but what I'm probably going to end up doing on the inside here, it's going to be like a demolition derby car. I'll probably graft something in here just to stiffen it up. But this stuff is really, this is that stuff, not to plug a company too much right off the bat, but that's that VO3D stuff. It's
Oh
the
yeah.
high impact PLA.
Yep.
And that stuff is super strong. I mean, I
Okay.
haven't had any problems with it. And this is thin. I mean, um, it's funny. We were just talking about our calipers, and I'm like, I always put my calipers on the Velcro, and now I can't find my calipers because they're not on my Velcro over here. So, but I don't remember how thick this is. I think this is like 2 mil thick, maybe 2 millimeters. But yeah, it works awesome. I mean, I don't have any complaints with it.
Huh.
And I like in that Monster Mash and at Halloween, I ran a 3D printed body and didn't break it. Like it was just it ran fine, and I was
You were
obvious.
tearing it up.
Yeah, yeah, I was hitting it pretty hard, I would say. So, but yeah, so
Chris is saying, related to the mini monster trucks. I see the new mini tires for the SCX24 of Etsy. I have not.
me either.
But send me a link to Facebook and maybe we'll pull them up here and see what they are. I have not seen them. I know that Mofo RC is working on some. I've seen some of the ones that people are buying from like Tractor Supply, and they look like mud tires to me.
Oh, I haven't
Um,
seen those.
yeah, I don't
Are they
like.
just
I
are they
mean,
off of like one of their toys or something like that?
yeah, they're off of
Yeah.
like a tractor or something, and
Okay.
they look like tractor tires. So it's not my favorite. If it's what we have to deal with, it's what we have to deal with. But I'm just buying up the models for now.
Yeah.
Um, but
I know.
yeah, they're narrower, and at that point, I'm like, well, why not just use the ones off of hold on here, I got it right here.
So Shiki RC and Gaming is asking if I fixed my rig from the race yet. I'm not sure which race and which one I've broken. They all tend to do something. Ooh, look at that.
So these, I mean, these already come off of the bead here, and I
Yeah.
actually am sending one of these to ECB 3D printing because you have the tire. They've got a bead already. All we need is this kind of a wheel, but with hexes on it.
Yeah.
Then you can you get the body and the tires for $15.
Yeah.
I bought El Toro Loco the other day. They've got this. They've got Megalodon.
Is that the
And
Walmart
they're
one?
rubbery. Yeah, they're Walmart ones, and they're nice and
Yeah.
I mean they're grippy.
Oh, they're like the
They're a
LMT
little
tires too.
narrow.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
they're like the LMT, which is the same as the AM.
Super scale.
So yeah, and they say BKT on them already.
That's cool.
And so I'm sending them to him so he can look at whether or not he wants to build a wheel for them so people can glue them up.
Yeah.
But I went on Monday, of course, which it was closed for
Oh.
President's Day. So I got a Little Caesar's Pizza next door and went on
Walmart
my
was
merry way.
closed?
No, USPS.
I was
trying to mail
like, what?
I was trying to mail the tires off and wheels.
Gotcha.
You said from your last video. You broke something in your last video?
I break a lot of things. I don't remember my last video. Oh, yeah, my son's rig. Yeah, I remember now. So that was the U4RC video. Thanks for watching. You're one of the 24, I think it is, that watched that. But no, thanks. So what happened there is he snapped a pinion shaft at the axle. We fixed it and got rid of the car. So so we ended up trading. Now he's going to be racing an SMT 10 with the Gravedigger body and 2.2 crawler tires on it in the interim. And we're building a 1.9. I actually have it off camera here, but we're going to build a 1.9. I have a busy like 4 days, dude. Like I have to build a 1.9 car. I have to paint a custom paint job. I just did design for 2
Custom
wraps.
paint job can just be black.
I wish. I wish. This one's so our race team theme is red, white, and blue, right? So we found a cut paint scheme from a trophy truck that he likes. So we got the trophy wrap body for his, and we're painting that one up. But I did a wrap design for our Nomads. So I got to install that, build a 1.9, paint a body, and then maybe mount another body for a rally car on the Phaser Mark II. I was hoping that the associated Huna truck would be out by now, so because it's the first rally race at the U4 stuff, and I was hoping so, but not yet. But I do got some cool associated stuff coming.
Huh.
So
that's cool. All paint schemed out and everything. So I just got this link. You got to check this out. I got to pull it up here. The price is right. I don't know. They look like the AMT tires. I don't know how they'd be selling them at that price though. I don't even know. It's crazy.
$30? Is that what we heard?
I saw like 46. I'm trying to pull it up. I just quickly look on my phone. They sent me the link.
Okay.
I'm trying to get over to the page.
While you're looking, Cheeky said that he did that Dalton did pretty well. He did pretty well at the race. I mean, the car wasn't really set up for him very well. That's just our first race, so we had to figure that out. So I think we're racing again this weekend on Saturday. And that's the other thing. We're doing like classes that we haven't done yet. So it's going to be like another first race for us. So we're doing the unlimited class, which we're going to be racing the associated Nomad DB8s. Very fast vehicle, a lot of car for a 7-year-old. And then we're going to be racing. He's doing a 2.2 solid. I'm crossing my fingers. Shipping says it's going to be here, but I ordered a Pro 4 that I'm going to run in the independent suspension class. And I'm just going to run it stock, change the tires and run it stock, probably unbox it at the track and let it rip. So, and then we're going to be running 1.9. So it's going to be a weekend full, man. Long day.
That's crazy. That is a long day.
Yeah. Someone said I sold my 224 deadbolts right before I saw you could make them into monster trucks. That sucks. Cody was telling me this week, KLN, that he just stumbled on a car that he won that he thought he already built, and it was in his closet, and he found a untouched deadbolt. And I was like, that's like the
wow.
I know.
Nice.
Like, lucky you.
So this is it. $46. You get the chassis, the wheels, and the tires.
Everything.
Now the tires are 3D printed. I don't know why everybody keeps making them with deadbolt links. Yeah, works best with deadbolt links. Is pictured with C10 links. It looks like it's pictured with deadbolt links. It's so long in the rear.
Short in the front. Yeah.
That looks like deadbolt.
You ever see that the Mater toy, the El Matador? It was the Mater from Cars, and he was turquoise and red, just like that last one, but all matadored out. It was pretty.
Yeah,
pretty.
That was a great. I used to love those tunes, Cars tunes.
Yep.
So this thing would be best served if these shocks were just put higher.
Yeah.
And if those are deadbolt, no, those are C10 links in this one for sure. This one doesn't look like that one. Does look like it. That one picture did not look like they were deadbolt or C10 links. Look at that, it's squishy, even though it's 3D printed.
Yeah, TPU is pretty soft, man. Like I would argue it's way softer than the tires that you buy off, toy cars for sure.
So this looks like it's deadbolt links now in this particular one. I don't think it looks as good as this does, where
No,
they're more even. I don't know why people keep saying that this is a better setup. It looks awkward.
it does.
It doesn't look like a monster truck. That's the main thing it doesn't look like.
Yeah.
But they should put the shocks higher. Like these should be straighter. The links. It shouldn't. The center of gravity is way too high.
I wonder if that particular chassis has clearance issues with the servo. Well,
Servo
see that. Yeah, but that one's far enough back running the long links up front.
Yeah.
So when you switch these up, I was looking at that on mine. Are you linking the front, or are you still using that Y link up front?
I use the Y link on most. I did 4. I just feel like it's stiffer when you use the 4. So most of these pictures don't look like they're 3D printed tires on it. These all look like AMT tires.
Right. Looks nice
But
though.
still, it's a good price.
Yeah. I wonder if the hardware is all included. That's one thing I noticed too about 3D printing. 3D printing my chassis. It's getting those little screws to bite and not to wear out. That's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
3D printed chassis.
So a lot of this stuff actually, it's better to go longer through and put a nut on the other side for like your shocks where there's that constant movement.
Yeah.
For like the chassis plate and stuff like that, it's usually fine and just holding the thing together. But your best bet is to just make the holes too small and then. But yeah, so this looks good, and they do sell just the tires.
Yeah.
This is another option: wheels and tires for $30. That's cool. Good on them for.
I need to find a model of the tire tread just so I can, like, of any type of tire tread. That way I can use it in my 3D models, because it always drives me crazy just having a donut for my wheel when I'm modeling something. I'm like, hey, that looks cool. So it says here, let's see. KLN says, nice enduro, Tony. They're pretty good out of the box, just need better electronics.
Yeah, so I drove the Enduro and I was actually quite impressed with it. I have it right here.
Yeah.
I had heard just that it wasn't as good, and I don't know that I agree out of the box stock. There aren't as many upgrades for it. They've balanced the weight front and rear. I don't know. Have you seen one before?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing that I think people also don't know is that you can go on, I'm sure it's like Banggood or some of those other ones, but they sell all the aluminum kit stuff for it. But it's branded as the RGT.
Right.
But it's all compatible. But you can get all those parts for it. Not so much like the 24s or the SCX24s, where you can get like the bigger axles,
brass diff covers and all kinds of craziness. Yeah. Right. But I mean, it's actually balanced quite well the way that they designed that.
Yeah.
And I was shocked when I was coming down an incline. It didn't just roll over. I was shocked.
Yeah.
So I should have gotten one of these a lot longer. And there's already so much more articulation in the shocks on these.
Yeah.
Just longer shocks, way longer shocks on it.
Yeah.
So you just get a whole lot more travel, which is what we're putting on the SCX24's aftermarket for another $35 or whatever.
Right. The biggest thing about those is that the 2S, I've been told you can only run the 1S battery. So
I would probably just swap out this transmission, or not the ESC receiver, with an axial one.
Yeah.
And run their radio.
Yeah.
And 2S, because the motor's the same plug.
Yeah, and it's the barrage motor, I thought too. It's a bigger can.
It's a bigger can. So anyway, this is what we're going to be working on.
So Jeff Brown says he has the brass parts from the Enduro from Power Hobby.
Oh, really?
I did not know that.
All right, so we're gonna have to do some looking. I see Gammy RC says the Etsy tires are TPU prints. Come with 3D printed wheels. Well, $30, not bad at all. No.
Well, and I saw
some good reviews on it too.
on Furatech's page, on Facebook, didn't Gammy collaborate with on that formula truck build or the chassis?
Yeah, the aluminum one, and then they've also got the carbon fiber one. I run them both.
I just saw
And
that.
I think he just did the new rock bouncer that they just
That's
are
what I was
tweaking.
talking about. Yeah, that formula looking like one for that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Good on you.
They're supposed to be announcing that here soon. So
Yeah.
I haven't used TPU before ever to print.
I haven't used it, but I've held it and seen it. It's a bizarre material. It's one of those materials that you're like, wow, you can 3D print this. Like, it's pretty cool, but it's very malleable.
So Jeff Brown is from Reaction RC Hobbies. He says he has the brass parts, even the links and the diff covers for it.
Very nice.
I did not know that.
Wow.
So what have you been thinking? Well, let's talk RC stuff. We'll get into this build thing in a second, guys. RC stuff this week. What have you been up to? What have you been working on? What did you get in? What did you buy? Any of that stuff. Quick update for people. This is, again, Pablo from RC Amigos. I just saw somebody ask.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be here. He's going to be the regular with us. You can see his logo right above his head.
Over here. Bam.
That way. I can only reach so far. Here you got to take a continuation of it.
Part of my halo.
Yeah.
Well, what did I get?
I saw a big box strapped into your car.
You did. So that was part of my son's 1.9 build, which we got the trophy rat body for.
Okay.
And then, let's see if I can do this the right way. I got one of these.
Oh, snap.
So there you go. I'll try to look underneath it and be like, hello. I'm hiding underneath it for my wife. Don't tell her. So just kidding. No. So what this one, what we're going to do with that is I've always wanted to get into drag racing. Clearly, we have an affinity for drag racing right now.
Yep.
And what I'm planning on doing with that is building it, doing some R&D on it, and making it into a scale rail with the scale metal supply stuff. So one of the things that was really cool about that kit, and I just kind of thumbed through it really quick, it comes with the wheels already. Most of those kind of things don't, I thought. So it comes with the wheels. I need to get the tires for it, but that's not hard. But
yeah, and most people want to choose that anyway.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that'll be cool. I've never done any of the no prep stuff. I've seen it. I've been there and watched it, but never done it. So I'm going to build it, R&D it, like I said, for the scale rail, and then also build a dragster off of it and just play with it a little bit. But aside from that, it was kind of a light week. I got that coming, or I got that, and then I got that body. But the big one is I got that Pro 4 coming. I've been waiting for that one and waiting to pull the trigger on it anyway. So I got that coming, and that'll be a fun one. So
you're hoping to get that racing soon.
That one will literally be like cracking the seal and putting it on the track. Like I won't have any seat time with it. I'm going straight into one of the quals with it. So
that's a good way to break an A-arm.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I mean, if it survive, well, that's the thing, it's like, that's a pretty good test. If it can survive a U4 RC race, like right out of the box.
When you don't know how to run it. Yeah.
When you don't know how to, yeah, exactly. If it can get through, that's a pretty good testament. Now that's a tall order, but we'll see how it goes. The track that we're racing at this weekend is a very fast track. I should have some cool footage because there's like some big doubles and big triples that the fast cars will hit, and should be some high speed shenanigans. So it'll be fun for sure. What's up with you? What do you got cooking?
Well, I've mainly been cooking up this stuff. So I picked this up so I did a lot of stuff last week. So I went to Crawler Space on Wednesday and did their comp there and did pretty terrible. So that was good. Tough course. And my winch, the hook on it just came off and lost the screw. And so I was kind of at that point just taking reverses and doing whatever. So
yeah.
And once I knew it was behind, it was getting late. I didn't want to hold it up. And then the next night I went to Reaction RC Hobbies. And so when I was there, I actually finally bought, I was waiting. I've been wanting to get that 0.050 Vanquish standard tool for working on these little things. And I finally got it. I told them that I wanted it after Harley mentioned it in one of the streams that they did make them, because I was kind of calling them out for not making them.
Yeah.
I was wrong. And so I picked that up and a few other things while I was there. And then the next night I went to the mini comp, and I didn't get to run the whole thing. It just got late, and being gone 2 nights in a row for that long.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I had this in hand already. I grabbed it and I did one of the courses, and I was waiting. And I just ran out of time when I realized, and the snow was starting to come down and it was getting crazy. So I just left, but, it was good. It was a lot of fun. And now I have this, and I have parts ordered. And I do want to mention that the radio for this is actually, I want to find out if there's other receivers that work with this radio, because these are so good. This is it's the same form factor as the FureTech Avatar,
right?
Just without all the cool stuff they built into it. But it's great as far as control and features. I just wish it had could do 2S. But I did get my motor. I'm going to try first.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a Charisma original parts. And I think these are 4-pole, which is partly why. So it's the same size as the
Godzilla,
those?
right?
1410. No, this is much smaller than that.
Oh.
But this is 12,000 kV.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a melt your face off KV right there.
I know that the Godzilla was fast in my monster truck. If I take this and I mount the FureTech transmission on it, because they sell that transmission plate for these. If I do that and mount this direct to it, it should be stupid. So, because the 4000 was very fast on 2S compared to the 4000 on an SCX24 on 3S. So if you put a 12,000 on this, it's going to be nuts. I think it could be completely wrong.
I wonder so what's the FureTech transmission? Isn't it mod 1 or is it mod 0.8 or whatever it is? Like, I wonder if you can actually bump out and get a bigger pinion for it.
So I think I'm doing mod 5 for these.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Mod 0.5.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. So isn't that equivalent to 32 pitch? I think.
Ish. Yeah, it's close. It's not exact. You can still melt stuff.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. If it's not. Yeah, and Jeff, I did also turn my RC truck into a submarine. It's 2022.
I saw that.
Can be both if they want to be.
I saw that comment. I was waiting for it. Yeah. That was
that was cool.
Funny. I know, the funny thing
is, as far as I was getting right to that area in the nether regions, and I'm like, yeah, it's too cold. I am not going any further.
At first, I thought you
2 feet down.
At first, I thought you were just hamming it up in like Blair Witch style in it, and then all of a sudden you panned down, and I saw your pants all wet, and I was like, wow, he went in there like that.
Broke through the ice. Yep, and it was flooded there, and I know kind of the idea. It was probably well, and I was really worried. Like, the truck could have, if it fell under, it could have swept under and gone to the river. And
current wise, yeah.
So because I showed that waterfall and all that. That's all moving out underneath that to the river, and so that's why I told my son when he's like breaking, I'm like, grab it, because I thought it was gonna suck under the ice, and I was gonna be like body slamming the ice trying to stop it. And that was not fun. And I'd already been through, and so my boots were loaded with water. I was huffing and puffing because it's like carrying like 10 pounds of extra weight with the, and then walking through all this briar and junk getting over there. And it's, your feet are sticking into the mud, and it was quite a hike over. And
you're like a Lewis and Clark there walking.
So the problem was, I zoomed in the camera to show how far it was, and the new phone goes 3x. and I hadn't, in all of that rush, I've thrown my stuff on the ground and going in. I hadn't zoomed back out, so it was really, really Blair Witch-ish.
Yeah. So is that the 13, the iPhone 13, or that goes 3x?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which I almost don't like. It is nice, but it's not. Like
It's
I like.
grainy.
No, it doesn't. It's optical. It's got a whole lens for it.
Nice.
As long as you start in 3x. If you start in 1x and then hit 3x button, it doesn't actually switch. It just
digital zoom. Yeah.
So you got to start with it before you record in 3x.
Interesting. I didn't realize that I didn't notice that on the 12, because I have the 12 Pro Max, and I was wondering about that. Like if you start, because I noticed it looks kind of like digital zoom when you go from 1 to 2 on that. So
you got to start in the mode. Otherwise, it just digital zooms. So there's a tip for you guys if you didn't know that. I also got something else in the mail here. And I told people I was going to be at the Crawler Space mini comp as well on Saturday, but I'll tell you why I didn't go in a second.
Is that your my doll that I made the custom label for?
I got
from the stories. Remember that your my doll the prevents gapping and bussing and
yeah. This is not the last thing. Actually, Gammy's in here. I should talk about his thing next. So I got this in the mail, and this is a on axle. It's basically a new diff and front axle piece.
Really?
That'll encapsulate, and it'll hold the servo on axle by ECB 3D printing.
Nice.
And so it just replaces the casing, I guess, right here.
Where's he shipping out of? Do you know? Like, do I have time to order something like that? New York.
New York.
Wow. Get a rope.
Oh shoot, here's the one from Gammy.
You remember that commercial? Pace pecane sauce. New York City. Get a rope. They're cowboys.
I used to love Pace picante sauce though. Get it at Sam's Club in bulk. Or Pace. Pace used to be the other competitor, not Costco. There was a Pace store.
Oh, nice.
That we had. I don't see it. Shoot.
Gammy's saying be careful with the ESC temps. I want to see some smoke, Tony.
Oh, it could get hot. I'm gonna just do single runs and then let them cool. And I'm gonna use a smaller pinion too. I'm not gonna gear it up crazy. I might at the very end throw 3S in and see what happens.
I'm gonna make you a sticker that says I live my life 60 feet at a time.
So I ordered his mount from Shapeways that'll hold this motor up in the middle of the chassis. I got it from the monster trucks.
Okay.
But it'll work with this Charisma motor. And I threw everything in this box because this is the box from Shapeways. And so I pulled out the padding and stuff, and it must have pulled out the actual piece itself. So I don't see it. It's a little white 3D printed motor mount. I'll do a video about it at some point. But it is a solution for people that want to put a Surpass rocket motor into their monster trucks. Dang it.
So are you thinking you're going to leave yours? I'm torn. I'm doing some design stuff, and I'm torn on if I'm going to elongate mine or if I'm going to go stock, or even the other thing I'm thinking of. And, I know I'm going to be faster anyway, so I don't mind sharing my secrets with you, but I think I think I'm going to go. I'm starting to wonder about going front wheel drive. No one said anything about front wheel drive. And it's like, you can put a lot of torque load on it and just pin that thing down and let her rip front wheel drive.
It's not a rule.
It's not a rule.
Just has to have one axle.
Yeah.
Huh.
We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm torn on the length though. Like I kind of want to go make it look like a real funny car kind of a thing, but I kind of also want to just make it look like a cool pro street truck or car. we'll see. What's going on in the chat here?
Yeah.
Should start a Facebook group for this. It says Casey Bangston. How big slicks are you putting on the rear? Ooh.
So we should show this, but maybe in a minute. I was actually looking for tires. What I was thinking about, and I'll have to dig it out of my bins back there, but Steve, what is the name of those? Shoot, Steve.
Someone's already talking about tires. They're saying we should talk tires more.
Grips. What are they called?
Grips?
Slots. Yeah, here. I was thinking about trying to do. He sells. He did some kind of slot car stuff or something. I don't know what he did, but it was called Slotso. But he's from Shen's RC. It's Steve from Shen's RC.
Okay.
He makes grips for your radio, and they're super rubbery. And I thought about trying to stretch one over a wheel and see what happened. Maybe glue it down to one or do something crazy with it.
Shout out to Shen, because that was one of the accounts that I started watching when we started jumping back in the hobby.
Yep.
And we were watching his YouTube channel a lot with his crawlers. I think he was doing a lot of Gen 8 stuff at the time. I don't remember. No, he was doing a WL Toys build, and that was one of our first cars we got back in the hobby. And yeah, we were all over watching his channel for sure. Inspiration, my friend. Inspiration.
Yeah. You gotta find it somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, I'm interested on tires too. I'm thinking about turning down some tires. The hard thing about the tires is that I think it's going to come down to tuning the foams.
Yeah.
And they don't make a solid foam. So I'm actually thinking about 3D printing a foam for mine. Maybe. I don't know.
You think that there's a way to do the slot car tires over?
I don't know. I thought those are foam tires.
Yeah.
Rubber. No, but my goal is I want to see smoke, man. My goal is I want to see some actual.
Oh, you want to smoke them? Oh yeah. See, Black Market's saying the quick slick spraying for slot cars are decent. So what did we were both looking earlier yesterday at a little site.
Which one? The EC?
Yes, that one.
Yes.
This. So ECB 3D printing is who I got the on-axle servo mount from. Well, he was busy this weekend.
Yeah, super busy. I think he might have had a jump on this whole thing, man. Look at that.
And he built a gasser for the Enduro24 that uses an SCX24 transmission, and it's mounted so you can either set it centered or you can change the position of it. It's got a spot in the back to put a GNSS speedometer or a GPS. Look at the tires, the rubber tires on the back there.
Yeah. See, I didn't even notice his little gas can on the front nose there. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's got these little O-ring tires. We talked about doing O-ring fronts, or even just strapping a bunch of O-rings on the rears.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You know, just get a flat piece that you can, or even put a bunch of divots and glue them in.
Yeah.
But here's the transmission plate right there. You can see where the gear can push through. But yeah, and this is the link system for the front, which is going to be a sway bar by the time you button this together with the servo mount, which is right here.
Yeah.
It's going to tie that together and just lock that front end on a long arm. So he stretched it too.
Yeah, I'm real anxious to see if people are doing wheel stands with this. That's I think that'll be cool to see if we can get some wheelies going. Maybe
magnet mounts,
wheelie bar. Look at that thing, man. That's awesome.
So that's the only thing would be then getting a wheelie bar coming off the back.
Yeah.
You can see the different options for where you'd mount your
Yeah, scoot it forward or
transmission.
whatnot. That's cool.
Yep. Well, you flip it,
Yeah.
and then it would be center mounted. So it's either or, like depending on how you want that drive line to sit.
Yeah. How much torque twist do you want on it?
Yep. But yeah, so right here you put your electronics, and then here is where the GNS, at least in the photo I saw,
So I want to know where those tires are coming from. He said it.
it
I thought
said HPI.
yeah, that's what it was.
There
Yes.
was another photo though that showed it, and this he only wants $35 for it.
I
For
know.
all these pieces right here.
I think I might have to call him up and be like, "Hey, I'm going to race with your car."
So the wheels are separate, and so those sell separately here.
Yeah, and the tires probably.
I don't think he sells those, but he said what they were. It's like, so here it is set up. Look at that. Perfect fit for the analyzer.
That's awesome. I need to
The
pick one
whole
of those
thing
up.
has been built for us.
Yeah, I know, right?
Staples, boom, easy button.
I know.
That's what I keep saying.
Yep.
He made the easy button. Look at all the shock mounting options up here.
Yep. That's
Are
right.
there shocks in the rear at all?
I don't
There
think
aren't,
there's
are there?
shocks. Yeah. I wouldn't put shocks on mine, I don't think.
Nope. Just rigid.
Yep. Just hardcore.
Yeah, there it is, just tied right in. But yeah, he did mention, I think in this post here, front wheels use 30 millimeter IDO rings, which we talked about.
Yep.
Rear wheels use HPI tires.
I'll have to
So
look those up. I bet you I can pick those up at the hobby shop when I go racing this Saturday. He's got everything there. Look at that. Oh, man.
so busy. What do you guys think of that, huh? So that's super rad.
I could see that chassis sitting underneath the Vega body I'm looking at for sure.
Yeah, total Rat Rob vibes.
Super sick. Yeah, it's like one of the, remember back in the day on the forums where they'd be like the little animations that would go and be like post as used without pics, and like, I want to see this thing run. You know, like, I want to see it run.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see what the controllability is with those with the O-rings up front. Like
Yeah.
if it pushes, or if it, you know what I mean? Because it seems like you got to have a certain amount of weight up there for it to actually
Yeah, and
turn.
it may just come down to adding some weights too. So
Yeah.
we'll look at how he set that up too, because he got rid of the front axle, and so it's 2-wheel drive, and he
Mhm.
literally just took the knuckles, and I think they just mount right onto that front.
Yeah, it's like a gasser beam
servo mount.
axle.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I really like that. I mean, that's what I had envisioned without, but I mean, he executed it, so that's awesome, man. I think that's super
There's
rad.
the front end right here. Yeah, so they just bolt right onto there. Those two nubs.
So it's
On
like
the end.
a kingpin and not shackle, but like a go-kart, basically.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. So you can have movement, but they just freewheel. Very cool build, and he was quick.
Yeah,
And
he was,
to
dude.
just design that out like that's pretty awesome. And
Yeah.
to fit everything in from the GNSS. So Jeffrey Makovich is saying that Eric is the man the gasser is made for this competition. Yeah,
100%.
I mean, I can see several people, and for $35.
Yeah.
So with that kit, you still don't have wheels and tire, and this, you're still cheaper than an SCX24 getting into this. Basically, you're looking at like $135
Yep.
with the
That's
two
awesome.
together. That's not bad.
No.
Of course, you're going to want faster motors and all that, but just doing that, I bet I'd love to see how fast it runs with just the stock motor in it. When you delete
The transfer case on it.
transfer case and you run off the SCX24 transmission.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see what the gearing ratio is. I don't know the tech specs on it for the gearing ratio of the transmission of the Enduro versus the SCX24 though, because that might not necessarily be benefit or not. You know what I mean? Like if you have a better gearing ratio on the Enduro, you might get a little bit more top end out of it.
I just know that that's the setup that 4,000 kV goes on and makes it go fast for the monster truck.
Right.
And it's way faster than this transmission to the other gear. So I'm guessing that this, it'd probably be 2 times faster. It seems like it's still not fast enough to go like more than 10 miles an hour, but it should be almost double a stock SCX24.
Right.
So John Slipknot RC Cars Inflatables wants to see the SMT10 or SCX10. I don't have anything right here. How big a slicks are you putting in the rear? See, that would be cool to have dualies of right there. If
That'd
he
be
could make
massive.
a double wide and we just strap 2 of those tires on, like the print to just be a double with print. Just
okay. So that
1.5 and then cut 1 in half and glue it on with it.
Well, that's where I'm getting super nerdy because it's in drag racing. Like it comes down in like real 1-to-1. Like if your pressure is off by a pound in the rear end, like you're pulling one way or another. So I'm wondering, is this where you get hyper nerdy out and you start balancing start balancing your tires, milling them down a little bit? I don't know. I feel like
do you have those little 4 corner things to balance your trucks out? No,
but I'm talking about balancing them as in like machining them down.
Yeah.
Rotation. So, trying to get it perfect, but I don't know. I feel like, we're going to run into a couple of things. We're going to run into ballooning, which is cool because that's like a real RC car. I mean, like a real dragster. Or we might run into, some axle hop, all kinds of. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
I'm just wondering if the diffs are going to hold up or if they're just going to melt. At some point. But those tires look really rigid to me. They almost just look like a solid rubber piece size.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'd love to see what they are. Anyway, Eric killed it with this design that he just hammered out. And then at that, it looks like, is it adjustable here?
Looks like it might be adjustable wheelbase.
For different length that you want to stretch it out.
That's cool.
I hadn't even noticed that before, but it definitely looks like, I thought it was for shocks. Maybe it's for shocks. They're like trailing arms, maybe, where you can mount your shock in different spots.
I think the shocks are just for looks. The way it looked like it was beamed out going all the way back. I don't know. Because it doesn't, I guess it pivots on the front of the skid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't wait to get some slow-mo of the front end picking up and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and that's where having a good location, like if you have a really good sticky, like basketball court or something, or surface that's just going to give you some grip. And that would, if it's dusty, that would be terrible.
Yeah, that's
like a dusty basketball court.
That's what people are going to look at me funny when I show up to my shop at midnight and mop the hallway. Like, why are you mopping the hallway? Don't worry about it. Go back in your place. Doing some RC car racing.
Midnight.
Yeah. Oh, that's not too out of the ordinary for us. So Psycho 13 Garage is asking about the details. So the details are on the CCxRC website. So if you go check out the link on, I'm sure it's going to be in this description, but it's also on the website. It has all the criteria of what we're doing for this competition. In a nutshell, it's the Enduro24. You got to have the full set of rails, got to have one axle.
I'd said you could cut the rails, but I wasn't thinking like major hack-offs, but maybe I should just change that because I don't think anybody's really going too far. So I could see people cutting it to where there's nothing, like just like screwing it on as a piece. You know what I mean? Like I fit in the rules.
I thought we said we had to use the full rail somehow in the rules.
Yeah, and we said we could extend it.
Yeah.
But I thought we could cut it, but I don't
But
know.
I thought the
I'd take
full
that.
rail had to be in the vehicle. It could be cut, but it just has to have the full rails.
Okay. Oh, we were talking cut to extend them and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The holes are for shocks, multi-shock locations. Front has swing, rear rigid. Whoa, it jumped. My example has the front set for droop. Droop is good. I like the droop.
Here were the rules. So the talk your face off rules start with an Element Enduro24. Must use at least 2 Enduro rails. They can be cut or added onto. And again, the cut wasn't thinking to cut it down to just like one screw hole and screw that on.
Right.
As far as the intention of the rule. Must use rear axle. We had said you can modify it to have different link mounts or other mods. But we didn't say it has to be driven from the rear axle. It just has to include it. Was the only rule. And that was yours.
Right.
Your idea, because you were thinking about ditching the rear.
Well, I was thinking about going front wheel drive.
Yeah, which would still include the rear axle.
Yep.
No more than 2 axles, minimum or maximum 12-inch wheelbase, 6 inches max width, which is a whole inch each side. Therefore, we measured it today, right? It's basically 4 inches wide. Yep. 40 amp ESC, 1 motor only. You can change your transmission, or you could just go direct to the drive shaft if you wanted to rig that up. 3S LiPo max, 1 inch max wheels, 2.5 max tire height. Dualies are allowed. Track boundaries, no throwing vehicles or adding any other propulsion. Body has to cover at least 50% of the chassis. That was just so that they wouldn't be running frame rails.
Yeah.
And then different types of speed readers you can use.
You know, I feel like, oh man, this would be so cool, because I feel like if we could actually get some speed out of these, I could see this taking off. You know what I mean? Like people making like the old digger style dragsters where the axle, you know, the person sits right on top of the axle kind of a thing and stretched out long. Oh, dude, that'd be so
Those
sick.
things are sketchy looking.
Yes. Super sketch.
Yep.
But I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So Eric's in here talking about the different things. Super cool build, man. Super cool.
Yeah. Nice job, man. I'll be probably hitting you up soon for some parts. Hopefully I can get some parts shipped out to the PNW before the end of this term for the, so I'm not building it the night before. So we'll see what happens.
Make it so the rail must be functional. I'm hoping to have several tests before. I'm hoping to show some speeds and kind of push people if they're not already past whatever I get. So I'll be posting videos along the way as I do a few tests. But I'm going to leave mine fairly stockish as I start building. And then, I mean, it definitely needs to be dropped.
Yeah, that'll all go out the window.
The shocks need to be CCx24-ish and chopped and lowered way down. So that's definitely going to be a must. But those will be some of the starting bases. Rip out this. I do have the FureTech transmission on order for these. So
nice.
Yeah. In fact, FureTech's going to help us out with that. So there's 2 of them coming. So
nice.
I'll send one toward you, kind of sponsoring that part of it for us.
Thanks, FureTech.
We'll see. Yeah, I reached out to him after we were talking about it. I thought they'd be perfect in one of these. And because they make it so it mounts into this, they have that whole
just drop and go
one that we can show, and it does what we need it to do. So yeah. What kind of speeds you guys looking to pull? I have an SCX24 that goes 9 miles an hour. So that's a starting point.
That's the benchmark right there. 9 miles an hour. Can we beat it?
Yeah, we'll be gunning for that 9 miles per hour, but we're
Yeah.
hoping if an SCX24 can do that we can get 20 plus miles per hour with these. My buddy Jeff thinks we can get over 30.
That's fast.
But so the stipulation is that you have to do it all within that 90 feet by 12 feet. You can't leave that area. So
Right.
from start to stop at the other side, that is the amount of time you have to get whatever speed you can get.
Right.
If you don't stop, and I said in my podcast, I'm like, if you want to make the end of your 90 feet a wall, there's nobody saying you can't do that. You can slam that bad boy into the wall at full speed as long as it lands inside of your box.
There you
and
go.
You're good. But you may only get one
as long as
run.
it bounces back, put a trampoline down at the end of the end of the run. Wow.
So, like, there are certain rules that I was looking at as I was reading them. I'm like, there's some gray areas. So if you're gonna do that, I'm all like, I want to see that happen. So please do it.
We'll just put a bunch of pieces of balsa wood so it's like it slows down as it goes in. See how far it'll go in. Oh,
you know,
cool.
you could put a little hook off the back of it and a rope.
Yeah.
At the end, have it grab it. And we never said anything about catch nets. You could throw a catch net down at the end. There was no rule about it. So like throwing out ideas there if people want to get crazy.
Get a purple mattress, be an influencer for purple mattress and just ram it right into the
There's this company that has a cereal that wants to sponsor my videos. And it's like a health cereal. And I'm like,
a cereal?
Yeah. It's a bit of a stretch.
You'll have to do like the 50s commercials. Don't forget to eat your Wheaties. Like,
yeah, it's funny because before Harley and them got the jerky sponsorship,
right?
I actually had somebody before I moved here reach out to me about doing a jerky sponsorship, and I was toying with it.
Yeah.
My brother's worked with them for a while, and he watches my channel and just loves it, and so he sent me this huge box of jerky. He's like, just try them and see if you like them. And if you take them on the trail with you and see how it works. I have them in my backpack. People have probably seen it at the shop. I've got my backpack with these what is the Sweet Fire? Oh my gosh. The Sweet Fire ones that they have are so good.
People are like, don't be around Tony if he burps, guys. Like, let's stay away.
When we go on the trail, the kids eat them and everything. It actually works. I'm like, this actually could work. We take it when we go out on the kayaks. We throw beef jerky because we literally got like 1,000 pieces of jerky or so. It's like a massive amount. Like
you need like hand cream sponsorship so you could be like, look at my hands as I'm working on this car.
Nothing like losing the grip when you're trying to race.
Yeah.
But yeah, Casey Bengston, step 1 on this build, new drive shafts. Okay. See you, Devin.
Or no drive
shafts. Oh, do we use mofo stuff? I do. I have a whole bunch of mofo stuff.
Yeah, I have not yet.
And I probably for this, because there's no stipulation that I need the motor to be upright mounted, I'm going to keep my Gammy RC one for a monster truck. And Mofo actually makes side-mounted mounts that are metal and adjustable that you can put those Surpass motors, or in my case, this Charisma motor on.
Yeah.
And it'll just offset it to the side, which isn't going to interfere with anything in this build. And so I'll probably do his Mofo motor mount attached to the FureTech transmission. It's cheap. He also sells all the gears that just hammer on. They're press fit, which I don't know if drag car, if that's a good idea or not. But yeah, we'll get here, wrap it up. I know Pablo's got to go answer a few last questions in here. And thank you guys for jumping in and being a part of this with us.
Yeah, super rad. I'm looking at some of the stuff too. Big of a question. Started building my own mini monster truck. Where do we get the frame? Well, there's a lot of places for those frames right now.
Yeah. The biggest problem is the motors fitting within a frame. So ECB, who we were just talking about earlier, makes an awesome chassis, and he actually just redid his to fit the PureTech transmission and that in there, and the upright motors above. So it changed the battery tray, and it also has this cool Lego mount now for drivers to put little mini drivers in.
That's cool.
So, it made me tell my kids, "You guys go in there and find those little monster truck drivers that we had."
Oh, mine's out of reach. I have my son's 24 has a little Lego racing man as his driver.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I mean, the best place to do that, I've got a video or multiple videos. I have one about ECB. I've got one on the Tiny Titan, got one on the PureTech Godzilla, and they have part lists and things that you can look at.
I'm excited for some of the stuff PureTech's coming out with, like just the stuff that I've been seeing them, coming soon and stuff on their Facebook or Instagram. They're really crushing it. They're catching up, or I wouldn't say catching up, but they're making some cool stuff. I don't have as much experience as you do with some of the other manufacturers. They're the only one that I really have a lot of experience with. So not to say
they're making the stuff, and I have the new nano motors, but they're like go slow motors, or they're crawler motors more for mofo. I have his nano beast that I have to test, but you still run it with the PureTech ESC.
Right.
So you still have the control, and that's, I mean, so much of what they've done with the software side of things is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So it's got the boost modes and stuff for that, and the motors in those new ESCs.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Boost mode. That's cool.
Yeah. Basically timing.
Oh, okay.
Adjustments and stuff for them. It's crazy.
Let's cook some motors then, huh?
Yep.
1200 K or 12,000 kV of motors. That's a lot of motor, Tony.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I just want to hear, I want you to like plug it in and just let it rip in your hand. Just so it's going to sound cool. You're like, ah!
I've heard enough of those drills. But yeah.
Brutal.
Yep. Yeah. Everyone's saying there's a brushless motor. Yeah. It's a 1222. Michael McKenzie runs it in his. It does get hot. So I actually wouldn't gear it up more. I would only probably run that thing with stock gearing, because that much RPMs into worm gears and all that, basically fighting against the motor.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that I have is a 9,000 or 9,600. It already gets hot in about 5 minutes. So, but yeah, that is definitely a good option for quick speed runs. But I got the 12,000 in a little bit bigger size, which should hopefully still going to run stock gear. But all that changes anyway, because when you start doing the mod gearing, it changes. So, well, man, everybody, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in again and seeing my mug this week.
Yeah.
This is fun, man.
It is fun.
I'm really excited where this is going. I'm really excited for the R&D that people are going to be putting into it. I'm real excited for just the possibility of this might take off as another segment, as in like people just meeting up and I mean, there's got to be a way to trim these out so that they're going straight and actually doing like, and not being like, wow, like watching two turtles drag race. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I still, even when because I mean, the team associated one, the stock, if you're running class rules out of the box on 2S, not geared up or anything, it's pretty slow. But so when they did the box stock classes, it was still really fun, because you had to be like, your trigger had to be on when that light hit, because they were so matched for speed. So that was actually really fun to watch.
Right. Are you talking about the DR10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was built for bashing, like, it's a street bash type drag.
Yeah.
So throw 3S in it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
But within the rules of the league on 2S, it just was like, eh.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gone and seen some of those races, and there's something else, man. Like they're like little, F1 style pits where you go in there and people are warming their tires, weighing their stuff out. Like it's pretty cool. And those things rip. Like, I remember we were down, my kids were down track a little bit, and I was like, step back a little bit, like, because it was like I would see some of them just take off. They just kite and just go away, which is crazy.
Body's just like crazy when some of them come on, like they're like flat and flipping in the air, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I saw what Harley took one in the back when he was filming.
Oh,
Josh,
for real?
the Las Vegas one, the big one, he was down there filming.
Oh, I think I
Totally took
remember
one
that.
in the.
Yeah. Oh,
It looked
man.
brutal, but yeah.
Sniper.
Yep.
Someone's going for him.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to let us know when you post. Send us a message either on Instagram or whatever. We've been having fun banter. At least I have been. Um, I've been a little bit more snarky with Pablo in
In
the
the
story.
stories. I
He
blew
got
you
me with the
I blew you
Jesus
back up.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you blew me up. Yep.
I blew you up a
He
little
he
bit.
does he doesn't take it lying down, sitting down. So we're just trying to have a good time and poke fun at each other. You know, Pablo will catch up eventually. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Oh, well, we'll see. I got some stuff in my pocket here we didn't get to, so I got some cooking going on. So
Oh yeah, what do you got in your pocket?
well, I just mean, some of the design stuff that I've been showing and teasing. Oh yeah, there you
Like
go. Yeah, like that one. Look at that. Been doing some modeling. Some
it looks old and slow.
There's my
Have
chassis that
you
I've been
seen
working on.
the cars the kids drive these days? Way faster than that.
They're too fast. They're furious, is what they
Yeah,
are.
I got another one here to show you guys real quick. This
Uh-oh.
one, um, I think I'll go to my favorite one last. Here's the other one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's the shaded.
might as well be a Chevelle or Chevette.
It's called a Vega. It's
Yeah,
the poor
might
man's
as well
Chevelle.
though.
Yeah.
I meant a Chevette. Paint that thing sparkly brown.
Yep. Ooh, look at that. Smoking the tires. Imagine that. It's gonna be sick. You're gonna be like, wow, how'd you get that to smoke the tires? I'll be like, don't worry about it. Oh
This
yeah.
is my favorite one.
Did I send you a flat shaded model of that too?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you
Oh wait,
turn it
there
on
it is.
here.
There it is. Yeah, turn it on. Boom.
Oh yeah,
Look at that. It's the Frankenwagon, but a drag car.
I dig that.
It's gonna be pretty sweet, man.
And there's enough room back there to put your receiver, your GNSS, and
Oh
get
yeah.
your speeds. But I'm sure you'll be able to walk faster than it, so we'll kind of know based on that what your speed is going to be.
It's gonna
Chalk it
go.
under 5.
It's gonna fly back to 1985, my friend.
Yeah. Need a Pinto to go with that.
I'm gonna lay it. So I almost burnt my parents' house down when I was a kid. I put a not lighter fluid, rubbing alcohol on my slot card track and lit it on fire and ran my slot cars through it so it'd leave the trail of fire behind it, like on Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's what I'm gonna do with these. I'm gonna just leave this big ball of fire. Hopefully they don't catch fire.
So you were always a little bit slow then.
Yeah. I was breathing all those fumes in, man,
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you got going and check back. I'm going to have an update this week on something. I don't know what yet. And also for those that are still here and I missed the thing on Saturday, it looks like we might be buying a boat. So we'll just leave you with that and we'll head on out, guys. We'll see you.
But mostly stay classy. No, just kidding.
No. Stay faster than this guy.
Yeah. You're going to go back to Hooker Island on your boat.